Good afternoon, everybody. Sam Romeo here, Environmental Educator, back again with one of my Thursday afternoon walks. And today, as we are inching our way out of spring and into summer, we're gonna go see what flowers are in bloom around Aullwood today. So let's see what we can find. So here we have a beautiful grouping of appendaged waterleaf. So sometimes it looks a bit like the Virginia waterleaf. But Virginia waterleaves, their flowers don't open as much as the appendage waterleaf. And the appendage has a maple-like kind of leaf to it. And these ones have a little bit more blue to them a little bit, I think. They're like wet ravines, wet areas. You can see we're in the bird feeding area. All right, the next flower are golden Alexanders. These are in the carrot family. They're often confused with wild parsnip, but wild parsnip kind of has a flat top to it. And these also have a tinge of red to the stems a little bit. But once again, these are golden Alexanders, and they like to grow in wetter areas like ditches, roadsides, and kind of rain gardens. Right along the trail, we have one of my favorite flowers, wild ginger. You can see it kind of grows in this Big Mac colony-like. Its large flowers are located on the ground, okay? And that accommodates, and we actually see a bunch of them crawling around, ground-dwelling insects to pollinate, such as beetles and ants. You can see another one kind of tucked in there. But you can see these stems are kind of covered in a long white hair. Each plant has a single flower located between each pair of leaf stalks. So you can kind of see, so there is a leaf stalk there. So that will grow a flower eventually. And then here are these leaf stalks with that one. But it grows long horizontal rootstocks and has a very strong ginger-like odor when it's crushed. However, it is not the same species of ginger that we use for cooking. Okay, that is a different variety of ginger. But if you were to pull this up and the roots, it would have a very ginger-like smell. But it has these beautiful kind of heart-shaped flowers. And of course, that flower, once again, pollinated by beetles and ants. Here we have another plant that's flowering. And try to identify it right now. Some people may think, oh, this might be trillium. But if you look at those deep veins, this is actually jack-in-the-pulpit. So jack-in-the-pulpit has this nice little like picture thing here, kind of sticking up. Has these two other leaves kind of growing with them all together. It's, some people call it, I've heard it called Indian turnip because the American Indians used the large taproots as food, but this is not considered an edible plant. But the roots and berries contain a chemical that really causes a burning sensation in the mouth, so do not eat it. And the jack-in-the-pulpit will grow these big green berries, and in the autumn will actually grow these really big red berries afterwards. They turn this bright red, and actually I have a picture of them right here. So they grow those big fruits right there. And I've seen them, you know, walking through in late fall. You know, almost everything is brown or gray or something in Ohio. And you see these bright red bunch of berries sticking out of the ground, which is really cool. And that is the jack-in-the-pulpit. It's a really cool flower we have is one of the first asters to bloom each spring. This is the daisy Fleabane. So this is a grows along here. We're on the trail. Grows along trails, nice open in the sun. Sometimes along roadways. It's a very straight growing plant, very erect, straight up. Each daisy-like flower, which was believed when dried, were once believed to keep the fleas away. You know, these early blooming are often sometimes considered pink, a little bit silvery. I never know, sometimes in your field guide you might have to go to the section with the flowers are pink, or the flowers are white, or the flowers are yellow. But there are several species of fleabane found in Ohio, you know, from other white flowered asters that lack leaves on flower stalks to other smaller asters, bigger ones with less petals on the side and whatnot. But this is Daisy Fleabane, and asters are actually one of the last flowers to bloom in summertime and fall. So like the New England asters. So see, these are some of the best flowers you can really plant around your property to help the pollinators. They're just nice, clean, perfectly round flowers. Right along Wiles Creek here, I found some nice large flowered Valerian, which is a pretty neat flower. It has this long tubular flowers. Now each one of those flowers is its own individual flower. And it has these long tubulars, so they only get pollinated by pollinators with longer mouth parts, so hummingbirds, certain kind of moths, bumblebees maybe. Once again, that is Valerian, growing right along the creek. So while walking around, I found not a wildflower, but a different type of flower. This is the flower to a tulip tree, which is right there. Tulip trees like to grow nice and straight. Kind of looks like a little tulip, huh? Now in the fall, these will dry, become a little brown. Here, let's try to... Tulip tree. Now this flower, although not native, is called ground ivy. I wanted to talk about this because you can find this in your yard. It grows very well in people's yards. It is actually not an ivy. It is a Eurasian import of the mint family. And a fun little fact, if you feel the stem of a plant and it's square, then it is in the mint family. Okay, so if it has a square stem, it is in the mint family. And this does have a little scent to it, like all mints. Now, it's considered an ivy because it just kind of likes to creep a little bit, but another common name for it is gill over the ground, which comes from the French guller, or to ferment, because its leaves were once used to ferment and flavor beer. It grows in large carpets, in your yard and stuff, but I wanted to talk about it because it is a great flower, and pollinators, especially our native pollinators, do use it as a food source. So once again, that is ground. Here in front of the Nature Center, we have growing some beautiful smooth Solomon seals. Also called true Solomon seals. They're distinguished by its long arching stem, and if I step back, you can kind of see how big these really are. They're absolutely beautiful. Now, there is a false Solomon seal, which the flowers, instead of down along here, actually come out through the top. And one good way to remember that there is a rhyme. Solomon seal, to be real, must have flowers along its keel. Okay? So along the keel of the plant is one great way to remember that. This can grow actually up to 10 flowers per leaf axis, which is pretty cool. The plant grows from a large underground rhizome, so those are some very deep roots in there. And American Indians once gathered this for its roots for food, but the roots may leave your mouth a little tingling and numb, so do not even consider eating them. I don't know how they went about that, but once again, this is smooth Solomon seal or true Solomon seal, and it is just beautiful. Well, Hawk and I would like to thank you all for watching. Once again, my name is Sam Romeo, Environmental Educator here at Aullwood, and I'm going to leave you with a short little video of some of the sounds today from Aullwood. Have a great week. Thanks.